In 2020, for the first time ever for an extended period, theatres all over the world went dark. Some even closed their doors permanently, never to open again, and theatre makers were bereft of their livelihood and even their sense of purpose. With wave after wave of the COVID-19 pandemic battering South Africa, theatres soon realized that before becoming fully operational again, they would have to first ensure the safety of the creatives as well as audience members. We are anxiously awaiting the time when we can safely enter the foyers of our favorite theatre spaces again. For a moment though, let's reflect briefly on the Fleur Theatre Awards and their celebration of more than 55 years of theatre excellence in Cape Town. The Fleur Theatre Awards are amongst the most sought after in the South African acting performing arts community. At their inception in 1965, they were known as the Three-Leaf Arts Awards, but in the 70s, they were renamed the Fleur Theatre Awards and presented in March every year. Initially, the presentation was a simple Sunday afternoon affair, but later it became a glamorous red carpet event. The awards recognize distinguished acting, directing and technical abilities in a number of categories. At the discretion of the panel of judges, there's also a Lifetime Achievement Award, an Innovation in Theatre Award, as well as an Encore Award. In 1965, as it still does today, the awards recognized work presented on professional stages in Cape Town and surrounding areas. Michael Atkinson, an actor who had done his training in the United Kingdom, won two Three-Leaf Arts Awards as Best Actor, namely in 1969 for his role in The Royal Hunt of the Sun by Peter Shaffer, and as Henry IV in Pirandello's The Emperor in 1970. He would go on to win 4 Fleur Awards too, which renders him the most awarded actor in the Best Actor category since the inception of the awards. The lead role in Richard III has twice been rewarded with a Best Actor award for the thespians who portrayed Shakespeare's villainous king. The first king was the highly respected Afrikaans actor Cobus Rousseau, who won the award in 1968. The incorrigible Allen Committee walked away with the coveted award in 2020 for a role that fit him like a second skin. The early years of the awards recognized the emergence of Bill Flynn as an actor to watch. He was a Capetonian who had studied at the University of Cape Town under Robert Moore and Mavis Taylor, both recipients of the Fleur Award for Best Director in this period. Bill Flynn went on to perform in 140 plays, 42 films, dozens of television shows and any number of radio and television commercials. He was also a founder member of the Space Theatre. In the South Africa of the 1960s and 70s, audiences were segregated and theatre companies were not allowed to have members of colour. Yvonne Bryceland, an award-winning actress, would not stand for that. In 1972, she and her husband, Brian Esbury, a theatre photographer, established the Space Theatre. The Space, as it was fondly known, soon established itself as an uncompromising, non-racial venue in a racially divided country and played host to many of our country's best actors as well as directors. Yvonne is probably best known for her performances in many of Athol Fugard's plays, but she won 3 Three-Leaf Arts Awards as Best Actress in 1966, 1969 and 1973 for performances in a variety of roles. She received the Order of Ikamanga posthumously for her contribution to the arts. The year 1974 saw the premiere of Kana Heko Hestu by Adam Small. Sandra Kotze's searing performance as Makit ensured that she was crowned Best Actress that year. However, the production was mired in controversy. It debuted at the Nico Milan, as Artscape was previously known. The playwright turned down his invitation since people of color were not allowed to attend productions there. As would have been the case today, there was also much debate about the fact that a white actress was performing the role of a colored woman. Adam Small, by the way, received the Fleur Lifetime Achievement Award 3 decades later in 2004. Roy Sargent has a resume as long as one's arm, but the constants in his life have been directing, for which he received 2 Three-Leaf Arts Awards, and the development of new writing for the stage. Under his tutelage, many aspiring playwrights have managed to get their work from page to to the stage. In the category of Best Supporting Actor in the time of the Three Leaf Arts Awards, one has to mention Marius Weyers, who won for his role as Jakes in P.G. du Plessis' iconic drama Sinner and the Suburbs in 1971. This was the first drama to portray Afrikaners speaking the language as it was spoken by people living in working-class suburbs. It caused quite a huge stir amongst establishment Afrikaners, but the play had record runs wherever it was performed. In this play and in the film subsequently, Marius established himself as one of South Africa's most popular actors. His most recent stage role was in 2018 as the Dominee in The Road to Mecca at the Fugard Theatre. The United Tobacco Company sponsored the awards until 1977. The Oudemeister Foundation for the Performing Arts took over the sponsorship after a merger, renaming them the Fleur Cup Theatre Awards. Fleur Cup was originally the name of an old wine farm in Somerset West. Currently, Fleur Cup is more widely associated with a popular range of wines by Distal, the main sponsor of the awards, and the Theatre Awards, of course. In 1985, a state of emergency was declared in South Africa. In that same year, the Fleur Cup Theatre Awards announced the creation of a new category that would be awarded for the first time in 1986, namely the Best Indigenous Script. It remains one of the flagship categories of the awards and one which has consistently encouraged and rewarded outstanding writing for theatre. Significantly, this award was first presented to Thina Bantu, We People, a script developed by Professor Mavis Taylor and her UCT students in direct response to the political violence in the country. Among these students was Mark Fleischman. This workshop method of theatre making and creating scripts has already been used by others, of course, including John Kani, Winston Jonah, the Serpent Players in Port Elizabeth in conjunction with Ethel Fugard, as well as Barney Simon and his colleagues at the Market Theatre. In Cape Town, the collaborative nature of workshop plays became the signature creative process of the Magnet Theatre, a training centre established by Mark Fleischman and his beautiful wife, Jenny Resnick. In fact, in 2009, this dynamic duo received the Fleur Cup Award for Innovation in Theatre. It is notable that the students and former students have twice walked away with a prize in a recently created category, the Award for Best Ensemble, bearing testimony to the success of the theatre-making process. In 2018, the cast of the fascinating play Kudu, written and directed by Luanda Sindapi, won the category, and in 2019 it was the turn of the cast of G7 Okwebokwe, Like of a Goat, brilliantly directed by Mandla Botwe. Both directors having strong ties to the Magnet Theatre. Sindapi also won the Best New Director Award for Kudu, and Botwe walked away with the coveted Best Director Award for G7 Okwebokwe, Like of a Goat. Many panel members, past and present, will admit to being really proud of a particular category of which the winners and nominees have proven over the years to excel beyond everyone's wildest expectations. That is the category for the most promising student. There are few things more satisfying than watching a young theatre maker enter the industry and continue to forge a career with perseverance, with imagination, and a little bit of luck. The list of former winners reads like who's who of theatre, television and film, both locally and abroad. There is little doubt that winning this particular award gives them a step up at the start of their careers. The voices of dissent against the state and its abominable apartheid policies were becoming ever louder and more outspoken, unexpectedly even on the stages of the Provincial Arts Council at the Nico Malan, now the Artscape Theatre, where visionary directors like Martinus Passon and the German director Dieter Ribble staged work that illuminated the excesses of the government of the day. One only has to think of August, August, August by Pavel Kohut, which Ribble directed, and of course Martinus Passon's magnificent and bloody Anatomy Titus, for which he won both the award as Best Director as well as the Rosalie van der Kocht Award for Best New Director. He would continue to win 4 more awards as Best Director in the course of his outstanding career. His unique and meticulous designs also garnered 4 Fleur Cups in the design category. Martinus's exceptional contribution to theatre in Cape Town was acknowledged in 2014 by way of a Lifetime Achievement Award. His prowess has been trumped only by his protege, Jacob Bauer, who over the course of time went on to win 5 Best Director awards as well as an award for Best Design. One of the most vocal opponents of apartheid in professional theatre, an actor, a writer who started his career at the Space Theatre but quickly had to become used to his plays being banned by the censorship board, was Pieter de Gees. This masterful satirist won his first Fleur Award in 1981 for Adapt or Die.
Members of the security police.
He received 2 more awards. The exposure of apartheid atrocities through his impersonations and caricatures of notorious politicians became his trademark, of which the most famous definitely is Mrs. Evita Bezaidenhout, a character who needs no introduction. Democracy in 1994 brought with it a greater diversity in theatre spaces, though it has to be admitted that the proper transformation remains an ongoing endeavour that the Fleur panel strongly supports. In the late 1990s, the existing provincial arts councils were abolished, forcing artists and directors to become really innovative in order to make theatre. This particular period was marked by the rise of the mega musical, starting with Andrew Lloyd Webber's Cats, which was presented by Peter Turin Productions, Mr. Turin being a doyen of musical theatre and a recipient of the Fleur Lifetime Achievement Award. For a long time, Peter Turin was a lone voice in the fast-growing genre, and the bar was set very high. The Fleur Awards used to have only one award category for musicals, namely for Best Contribution to a Musical or Revue. Towards the end of the first decade of the 21st century, the panel realized that it would have to give serious consideration to expanding the number of awards for musical theatre. At the awards ceremony in 2010, 4 new categories for musical theatre were introduced and fiercely contested annually. In the same year, the Theatre Arts Admin Collective, under the leadership of Caroline Colburn, together with the Baxter Theatre Centre and Distel Foundation, founded the Emerging Directors Bursary, which was specifically designed for emerging theatre directors who had some experience in directing and whose passion was to have a career as a theatre director. Its focus later shifted to awarding young women directors specifically. As could be expected, previous alumni of the program include Amy Jefter, Amira Conrad, Nwabisa Blaki, Tando Mangu, and Kondiswa James, all of whom have produced memorable work and continue to make their mark in theatre. These exceptional young women walk in the footsteps of other great women directors such as Janice Hanneman, whose 3 Fleur Best Director awards equal the number received by Mavis Taylor in the early days of the awards. A Lifetime Achievement Award went to the celebrated director Fatima Dike in 2019 for her tenacity in forging through construct and constrictions to create exceptional work, and in particular to mentor young directors and actors from previously disadvantaged communities. In 2015, it became clear that a need existed to recognize the exceptional pool of talent amongst the opera singers in the country. It was therefore agreed that an award would be made to the best performance in an opera by a male and the best performance in an opera by a female. The first awards went to Lukhanyo Moyake and Johanni van Oostrom, who sang in a production of Die Vliegende Hollander, directed by Matthew Wilde. Matthew, of course, had been awarded the Fleur for Most Promising Student in 2000 and later the Fleur for Best New Director in 2005. There's always a need for black box theatre spaces, particularly for theatre makers just starting out and theatre makers wanting to create new work. 2 spaces fared particularly well in this regard, namely the Alexandra Bar and Theatre, as well as the Intimate Theatre. As far as the awards are concerned, these venues consistently punched above their weight. Unfortunately, both no longer exist. Many theatres have shut down as a result of COVID-19. Theatre makers and artists should be applauded as well as celebrated for their innovation in a time of a pandemic. Productions and theatre festivals went online, but the languages of theatre and that of film and digital media are different, of course. The positioning of the audience in each of these contexts is also different. Embodied engagements and visceral exchanges that foreground the sensory are central to the performing arts. Across the country, arts communities are ready to speak to audiences' hunger for the arts. No one can question that the closure of theatre spaces has had a very negative impact on the well-being of theatre makers as well as their audiences. The pandemic has certainly had a significant impact on the vibrancy of the mother city as well as the economy of Cape Town and cities across South Africa. Someday soon, we will be able to gather in an auditorium again and hold our collective breath in anticipation of a meaningful exchange. Meanwhile, echoing the words of a famous red-headed orphan, the sun will come out tomorrow. So you gotta hang on till tomorrow. Come what may. Tomorrow, tomorrow. I love you. Tomorrow. You're always a day away.